Texas Governor Greg Abbott announces the elimination of jail time as punishment for violating shutdown orders. This after a hair salon owner was put behind bars for reopening her business. I'm Jon Scott, and this is an expanded edition of the Fox Report. It's the bottom of the hour, if you're just joining us. That controversial case is highlighting the nationwide debate on when and how to restart the economy. Here to talk about it, Republican Congressman from Texas, Lance Gooden. He is a member of the House Financial Services Committee. Congressman Gooden, it's my understanding that a week from tomorrow, you're going to get to open gyms, office buildings, and non-essential manufacturing facilities in Texas at 25% occupancy. How convinced are you that that's a good idea, that it's not going to be too soon?
You know, the goal was not to cure this disease and have it totally out of our lives in 2 months. The goal was to flatten the curve. We've done that. I believe we've done that nationwide. We've certainly done that in Texas. And we're to the point now where we've got to get back to work. The economy has suffered tremendously. We have to get Texans back to work, and Americans across the country are ready to return to work. They're tired of their government, at least in Texas. I won't speak for people in places like California and Michigan, but in Texas, people are tired of sitting at home. People are tired of the government telling them that they can't go out and earn a living, which is what you mentioned earlier when the show began about the salon owner in Dallas.
Right. You've got at least 37,000 cases of coronavirus in Texas, roughly a little less than 1,100 deaths. But you've also got tremendous economic damage from the shutdown of this state and so many others. It's a tough balancing act.
It is, but you know, in my district, senior citizens that I talk to say, Lance, I'm concerned, but I'm going to stay home. I didn't need the government to tell me to stay home. And then you have people who are ready to get back out and work. They were ready to work even when this started. They didn't even want to take a break because they couldn't. In the case of the salon owner in Dallas, she was providing for her family. People are getting to the point that they are so desperate that they are, in essence, breaking the law, breaking these orders. Civil disobedience is becoming an option that people like her probably would have never considered. I spoke with her legal team earlier today. She actually faces the prospect of going back to jail. Her release was temporary. She received a huge fine yesterday from the city of Dallas, and she's got to deal with that now. Her story is not over, and the story of Texans who are dealing with similar scenarios is not over. What we've got to do is get back to work and say no to the nonsense that is government locking people up for providing for their families.
Would you be an advocate for greater testing? Dr. Tom Inglesby was on Fox News Sunday, and he says that, in his view, testing is the answer. Listen.
I am concerned. I think there are some places in the country which are doing a lot better, which have low overall numbers and have had a 2-week decline in cases or more and have been doing a lot of testing. But there are other places which are really experiencing the opposite. Rising cases, too little testing, too little tracing.
Dr. Inglesby from Johns Hopkins University. So, Congressman, is Texas ready and able to do more testing?
Yes, I think we are. But, you know, I also hear a lot of skeptics from around the nation. I understand that just in the last few days, Dr. Birx on the White House team has had issues with the CDC numbers. When you look at the numbers for deaths from things like pneumonia, those numbers are so low this year compared to other years. Does that mean that deaths for pneumonia have just vanished, or are things being coded as COVID deaths? I don't know the answer to that, but I do know that there's a lot of skepticism out there. Testing is a great thing. We do need to increase it, but what we absolutely need to do is get this economy back at it. We've got to get people back to work. People can't afford to feed their families. They're worried about paying bills and rent and mortgages. And we've come to the point where civil disobedience is becoming acceptable because people are fed up. They want to get back to their normal lives. No, we don't want to get sick. We want to take precautions. But I think people are tired, myself included, of the government saying what we can and cannot do.
Yeah, the president has worried about the cure, in this case, an economic shutdown, being worse than the disease of COVID-19. Is that the tipping point that you feel we have reached?
Absolutely. I think we reached it a long time ago. We're potentially in waters that we'll never get out of. We hear of industries potentially never recovering. The airline industries have taken such a huge hit. Unemployment numbers are through the roof. People in my district have lost jobs that they thought were extremely secure just 2 months ago. We have hair salon owners going to jail when hardened criminals are being released because of this virus. We're locking up salon owners. That's just crazy. This is not the America that I grew up to love. This is an America that has in many cases, lost their minds. I mean, we've got people that are doing things that the government tells them to and sitting around waiting for the government to say you can take off your mask or you can go to work. It's just crazy. And in Texas, we're fed up with it. Governor Abbott's fed up with it, and he's done a great job. He's seen that the numbers have decreased. He listens to his constituents, and that's the people of Texas. And we are sick and tired of sitting at home and not growing the economy and taking care of our families. And that's what the constituents I represent want. They want to get back to their normal lives.
As we said at the outset, he has revoked the idea of jailing those who violate stay-at-home orders. Representative Lance Gooden, Republican of Texas, thank you.
Thank you.